90-Day Fiancé couple Juan David Daza and Jessica Parsons have revealed an exciting life update, despite the Colombian man's confession that he cheated on her in season 11. Jessica was married to her ex-husband when she went on a cruise with her best friend and crossed paths with Juan at a casino. Bartender Juan and the mom of 2 kids, Jessica, stayed in touch, and on her 5th trip to meet Juan, the couple were engaged. Jessica and Juan also welcomed a baby together before he moved to the U.S. on a K-1 visa. 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 is yet to reveal if Juan and Jessica got married, but the couple is already celebrating something big in March 2025. 90-Day Fiancé_Alexa reposted a few stories originally shared by Jessica on her Instagram. One of them showed her and Juan sitting atop a rock by the sea, and she captioned it, "Today's a special day," with a heart emoji. Jessica's next story contained more pictures of her and Juan clicked over the last few years. Jessica captioned this story, "Loved you for 5 years," and tagged Juan. What Jessica's special day post for Juan means for their storyline. Did Jessica spoil her storyline with Juan? Jess seems to be referring to the day she first met Juan in her special post. The couple had to be apart after their first meeting due to the COVID-19 lockdown. However, the time apart was spent by Jessica and Juan getting to know each other. As soon as the borders opened, Jessica flew to meet Juan, and she knew they had a special connection going on. Still, Juan may not have been serious about being exclusive with Jessica, as he was hooking up with another woman while on the cruise ship where he worked at the time. Jessica got pregnant with Juan's baby after learning he had cheated on her. She was probably scared of losing him and thought having a baby would stop him from straying. Jessica's plan seems to have worked, as her social media posts suggest the couple is still going strong. Juan seems to have adjusted to his life in Wyoming, although it's nothing like the glamorous things he used to do when he worked on the ship. Juan is a family man now, choosing to spend time with his wife and 3 children instead of partying and going out. Our take on Juan and Jessica being together for 5 years. Is the past in the past for Juan and Jessica? Even if Juan may not have had strong feelings towards Jessica at the start, the past 5 years have helped him realize her value in his life. Juan knows that betraying Jessica was a mistake he committed and claims he did it because he is only human. Juan promised it would never happen again since he was with Jessica in person now and didn't feel lonely. However, the 90-Day Fiancé star was taken aback when he found out Jessica had been talking to her ex during that time. Despite the trust issues, Juan and Jessica are still going strong. Juan finally admits to cheating on Jessica during awkward night out with her friends. "I messed up." Even before his confession, Juan's move to Wyoming was off to a rocky start. Juan is finally owning up to cheating on Jessica as his new life in Wyoming gets off to a rough start. The Colombian native made the confession on the 4th episode of 90-Day Fiancé's 11th season during an awkward night out at a local bar with some of Jessica's friends. Juan previously denied the allegation, which involved him hooking up with another woman while on the cruise ship where he worked at the time. But Jessica's friends, including her co-worker Megan, repeatedly pressed Juan about the issue out of concern for Jessica's family and future. So when Megan questioned him once again, Juan finally admitted, "I messed up." Juan was still wary of Megan after she questioned him about the cheating allegation while she and Jessica previously visited Colombia. Since then, he said his relationship with Megan has never been the same. But when Juan expressed his concerns to Jessica before the outing, she urged him to remain positive while interacting with her inquisitive coworker. "Positivity is key," she added. Despite this, Juan was visibly annoyed when Megan inevitably questioned him at the bar. In a confessional, Juan complained that Megan had gotten too involved in his relationship, adding that it was not healthy for me and Jessica. Megan insisted that she had her coworker's best interests at heart, but Juan argued, "Being here and quitting my job and just giving up on everything, I think that's, again, good enough." Still, Megan was struggling with the lack of answers from Juan. Eventually, she got the confession she was looking for. "Did you sleep with that girl?" Megan asked Juan, to which he replied, "I did." Even before Juan's confession, his move to Wyoming was off to a rocky start. In previous episodes, Juan learned that Jessica and her 3 sons lived in close quarters, with some rooms lacking doors among other privacy concerns. In a confessional, Juan acknowledged that sex and life were different in Wyoming than they were when he and Jessica were dating while he worked on the cruise ship. Luckily, the couple got some much-needed alone time during Juan's first morning in Wyoming, which included a quick make-out session in bed. Later on, Jessica took Juan on another brief tour of Torrington, this time during daylight hours. But the tour was underwhelming for Juan, who compared the slow lifestyle in Torrington to a retirement home. The cruise ship in the town is a whole different thing. It's not the same life, he explained in a confessional. I think she's wrong and don't want to accept it. Juan then suggested Jessica was not doing enough to help him with such a major transition. My life is totally changing and this is not helping at all, he explained. I think it's better if she just helps me get used to this new life than rather telling me you're wrong, and this is the same thing and it's the same. It is not the same thing. And we all know that, besides her, I guess, he added. Juan David Daza and Jessica Parsons' cheating scandal explained. 90 Day Fiancé star Juan David Daza's past cheating scandal has come back to haunt him and Jessica Parsons in season 11. Juan is a 31-year-old man from Cali, Colombia, who has moved to Torrington, Washington on 90 Day Fiancé season 11 to marry his girlfriend and baby mama Jessica. Juan and Jessica were first seen in 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise Season 3. Juan will now have to live with Jessica, their baby David, and Jessica's 2 sons, Dawson and Dayton, from her previous marriage. It's not going to be a smooth sailing journey for Juan and Jessica, since his loyalty will be tested. Jessica would constantly wonder if Juan would be able to adapt to the role of a father after having lived a carefree life on a cruise, even when he was in a relationship. While Juan deals with his new role as a full-time dad, he is going to be questioned by Jessica's friends about a mistake he made in the past. They're looking out for Jessica, while Juan is refusing to answer their questions by claiming it's his private life. How did Jessica and Juan meet? Jessica and Juan's storyline before 90 Day Fiancé. When Jessica was still with her husband, they'd planned to go on a cruise a year later on the same date with her friend Megan and her husband while they were drinking. When the date arrived, Jessica and her husband were in a bad place. She debated but ended up going on the cruise with Megan because she didn't want him to bring her down. Jessica decided to go have some fun, and on the very first day, when she and Megan were at the casino, a bartender walked up to them asking them for their drinks order. Juan and Jessica started getting to know each other and got into a long-distance relationship. 9 months later, Jessica went to Colombia to meet Juan. She felt like he was someone she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. Juan impressed her by buying her flowers and wine, and on her 5th trip to Colombia, Juan proposed to the mom of 2. Jessica came back to America and realized she was pregnant. Jessica went to meet Juan with their 2-month-old in Galveston, Texas, while Juan was finishing his cruise contract. It was Juan's first time seeing his baby. Did Juan cheat on Jessica on the cruise? Juan admitted to online cheating. Jessica was 2 months pregnant when she starred in 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise. She had revealed that her partner, Juan, had cheated on her on a cruise. A woman had messaged her claiming that she and Juan had hooked up behind her back. Juan had shockingly confessed to flirting with the other woman. He admitted he had not told the woman about his relationship with Jessica. However, Juan insisted he did not sleep with her. The incident had taken place before Jessica and Juan got engaged. Why Jessica's friends think Juan is a red flag. Will Juan be able to prove he's changed? 90 Day Fiancé star Jessica had flown to Colombia to meet Juan despite knowing about his cheating. She even got engaged and became pregnant with his baby after what had happened. Jessica claimed that she felt sad about how hurt Juan was about losing her. She had rekindled the relationship even though her friends advised against it. Jessica's friend Megan had even sent Juan some mean messages where she called him out about what he had done. However, Jessica deciding to have Juan's baby just a month after the cheating scandal was also not acceptable behavior.